Welcome to the Creative Island Podcast.
A show aimed at helping creative individuals transform their passion into profession.
Each episode will share powerful strategies, tips, and practical tools to empower you to create the income, the lifestyle, and the legacy you were designed for.
We are your hosts, Adam Bowman
and Jason Pepper.
Enjoy the show. Creative Island Podcast. We're back in the building again. Same outfits, because who cares, dude? We're not changing podcast to podcast.
Gotta do Jason, a few at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we gonna do? Set this whole shit up fucking for one and leave?
Well, like I used to bring outfits, but now like I'm like I don't care, dude. Like
I don't fucking
like, yeah. I mean, well, you're sharp though.
Do you guys care? Do you send us a line?
Yeah. I mean, I think most people are like more like audio listeners.
I don't think we're not there yet.
Like I think we get like 6 views an episode like on YouTube.
I haven't paid the makake people in weeks.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we're there yet.
It's showing, buddy. Like, fuck. Anyways, Adam and Jason in the cut. But today we're going to talk about what happens when things go wrong, because shit just hits the fan and sometimes you don't know what to do.
All the time.
You know what I mean? Like, but let's start off with anecdotes, man. I like these anecdotes. Give me one where shit hit the fan and either you could right the ship, you couldn't right the ship, or like got a half and half, pivoted, whatever.
Oh, fuck. I have a good one this week.
There we go.
So I have good ones every week, man. We had a really good one. The last week, so one of our businesses moved to like a subcontractor model. So we got rid of full-time employees. It just didn't work. I couldn't retain talent in the traditional way of like salary and benefits.
Yeah.
And we offered, like comparable market kind of stuff to what was out there. And it just didn't stick. And I was like, man. So what happens when you go to subcontracting is your margins shrink a lot and you lose a lot of control of the final product. And so that can be hard. And it was hard for me. And it's hard for anybody. That's why most people just become owner-operators in whatever that lane is, right? Their whole life, because they stay in control of the final product. Yeah, they work their fucking, their back to the bone or whatever. They just, work like dogs. But they can't ever give up control. So finally I said, all right, we got to scale this thing. We're not making enough for what I'm doing. So subcontractors enter in, the new model. And so this week we had a massive fuck up, and like one of my subcontractors went to a job.
Like how bad are we talking?
Like really bad. And so like I won't get into the specifics of how bad, because it's
for confidentiality's sake.
And it's probably irrelevant, but the punchline is that like things pretty much like everything that could go wrong went wrong. And it was like, and at the end of the day, I remember sitting in my office at home, and I'm like, at this point, I'm praying. Like I don't even pray. Dude, I'm praying. I'm just
Jason's
like,
praying,
please,
dude.
like make this. And so,
God.
But
in the starts going biblical on it.
Like I had to fucking ask someone for help, because no one was helping me, right? Not even my subs, the guys I was paying.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was the moral of the story is that it was okay in the end, and it didn't meet my expectation, but it met the customer's expectation. And that's the most important part. In anything you do in life that is above and beyond the customer's expectation, to your expectation, is only going to cause you pain and suffering for no reason.
Okay.
And so you have to understand where people are in the marketplace. And as long as you set the expectation correct to the customer, then you'll save yourself a lot of unnecessary pain and suffering, because everything's going to go wrong if you set the standard to, it has to go this way because that's the way I do it. It's like, well, you're not doing it anymore. And if you set the expectation of you're doing it, but you put someone else in the chair, you're just creating a whole bunch of pain and suffering for no reason. And so the moral of the story is like things are going to go wrong all the time, but you don't perceive them as being so wrong. Just perceive them as like hey, we can learn from this. Hey, there's some education here, and we all got to pay for education.
Is that the same thing as like the saying? God, I just had it a second ago. Undersell, over deliver. Like, is that what you're talking about? Like, is that
a little bit
same vein? Like,
yeah, for sure, same vein.
Yeah, no, I see
vein.
that. Okay, that works. But just to go back to the topic, so you're saying like when shit hits the fan, just to pray. Like, is that?
No, like no. I'm just saying shit's gonna hit the fan and it's gonna go wrong. That's guaranteed. But it's never gonna be as bad as you think, because we can work up crazy scenarios of things in our brain. And we don't want to talk too much and expose too much. We just want to let people give us feedback and correct things, not as much as you think. So I got some feedback. We got paid. That was the most important part.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
And after, it gave me time to, like, I would call it damage control. There wasn't really damage, but I wanted to see the things that the client noticed versus what the subcontractor noticed. And so I wanted to sort of take some of that education onto the next experience. So we just refined it. And so anyway, from a business standpoint, I run into shit all the time. Like things go wrong all the time. Things went wrong. I can give you 10 other examples that happened this week. Like I won't get into specifics because...
Dude, it's only Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's so much that happens in a 5-day, in a business, sort of in one business day, so much happens, let alone 5 of them strung together. And so it's just like, there's always stuff going on. But that's kind of what you signed up for.
And when you notice like shading the fan like happening, like when you're in that, like do you do as much as you can to either like one, let it happen, or to just like fix it? Like just like, are you more of like you're gonna like nip this in the bud, or are you more like trying to run its course? And
like I always live by the see it, say it.
Okay.
Sort of idea. So if I see something, say it. Just call it out.
Okay.
Because like you definitely don't want to see something and then not say something, because it almost, not saying something is almost,
you're just lying to yourself almost.
Yeah, like people think by not saying something or ignoring something or just like pretending it doesn't exist, it's like whether you decide or don't decide, you're making a decision, right? And so like you have to be careful that like, anyway. And so do I try to do a shitload to mitigate or put out fires? No.
Okay.
I almost fucking let the fire rage.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was asking.
Let's fucking see how bad this can be, right? Let's see and it's never as bad as you think, like I said. And to some degree, when you're giving up the reins and you're letting other people run the show, you have to, everybody wants to do a good job and everybody wants to feel valued and they want to feel like they've met a particular expectation. And so setting the expectation clear is important, but if you don't do a good job of that and it's wishy-washy, you know, you can do some coaching along the way, or some like, hey, we can try it this way, or hey, we can look at doing it this way in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, see it, say it, but don't step in and fix it. Just let it go. Let it burn. Like if it burns down, it's okay. There's another one coming. There's another one coming. There's
as long as no one gets hurt, and then you're, you know.
Yeah, as long as, well.
Yeah, okay, I know. I'm just talking shit, dude. Yeah,
for sure.
I'm trying to think of like ones, like anecdotes that I have that like aren't like one too incriminating in terms of like how big of a fuck up it is, but also like enough to like actually make a point out of it. And like I've got a couple, like one, like, was it so bad? Like I used to shoot real estate back in the day, hated it. I've mentioned it before. It's just not my thing. Don't like real estate agents that well. I'm sorry if you're a real estate agent. I'm sure you're great, but it's just like the ones I've used or worked for were just not the greatest. But then like I finally met someone like in that sphere that I could like, I see myself growing for. I could charge a little bit more. She was very professional. She's very good in front of the camera. Like a bunch of shit hit the fan. Like when, like if you're filming and then you shoot out in daylight and you don't have the settings right, like I had like basically my aperture like super close down, so it lets in like there's like a large depth of field, like you could see a lot of things are in focus. So you have specks on the lens, you see them. So like on one of the videos, she just has this speck on her face like the whole time, and I tried to like suss it out, and like I like made a big, like I was just lying and excuses. And then like I ended up like that one was like bad on the day, and I was like kind of like, you know, I can reshoot it, like just like making, and I did, and like made it right in that regard. And then like I ended up like sending it, like it was all like fine and dandy. She used it, whatever, it was fine. But then like I think I cleaned out my Google Drive and like deleted a bunch of stuff. And that was like the transition into going to like when I built my PC from like laptop, and I lost a lot of hard drives. Like when I'm older, I'm going to get them fixed. It's like a little like, I've been saying it's like my 30-year-old gift to myself to fix those, but it's, so they're like, the videos are just dead on a hard drive, not on Google Drive. And like, she hits me up like a year later, like, oh, can I have these videos? I was just like, oh, fuck. So I kind of just had to like make up an excuse. Like you didn't pay me for storage. That wasn't a part of the agreement, but I felt really bad. And I tried like upselling again to like getting her to do more videos, but it was just like burnt our bridge burnt like immediately. And I was like, so there's not really a good ending to that story, but it's just like you said, like it was kind of just burning. And I was like, at the end of it, I'm like, this has got to burn one way or the other. Cause like, there's no way out of this one. At least my 3 years, like in the past self, like let that shit burn.
Yeah. And the reason I've like let it burn thing comes to mind is like you can't really do anything that you can't undo or go back to down the road.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally.
Like I have, like, for example, actually hilarious story, that client that I fucking let it burn this week, I just got a referral from them. Like, you know, I'm like, okay, let's do it again. Right. And so like it was going really wrong, but we did what we could, and I let the fire burn. I let people just be people, let them do their thing. And even if it's not up to my standard, up to the customer standard, you don't really know what that is, right? And people have high standards, people have low standards, but you don't really know where it is.
Yeah.
You know, you can sell them fucking whatever.
$1 billion treatment or whatever.
Yeah, you can sell them the $1 billion or whatever.
Stupid, yeah.
But you have you completely were naive to like what they actually wanted, and you may have missed that. And that's suffering. Anything above what their expectation is, like you're just causing yourself pain and suffering for nothing.
And that's similar, like, before I ask this question, like, so were they, like, was the client aware of shitting the fan, or was that just you? Who knew they were like, like, what the hell's going on, Jay?
What the F?
Okay. Because I was gonna try to equate it to like theater acting, because like when you go see like a theater production, you like the people who are working on that, it's like could be anywhere from like a 5 to like months long stint of like them doing that production, where they know like what a good show is versus a bad show.
Right.
But like as one person going in to see one show, you like if someone dubs a line, steps over, like, you know, misses something, misses a beat, you have no fucking idea. So there's like, but like as an artist, you're beating yourself over it, but at the end of the day, it didn't affect the show. Like no one cares. Like as long, you know, so I was trying to equate it to that, but it's a little bit different in that like the client actually knew that it was like not up to par.
Yeah,
whatever,
no, but I get what you just said made a lot of sense too. I think we run into that probably way more than
where you're just like you're seeing like shit being tossed at the fan, and you can kind of just be like, no, it's okay, like get down, like you don't need to hit the fan today. Like I've been in scenarios like that.
And then, but it's funny because now I'm in a position where like I have really great people around me, right? And so I want to challenge them, and I want them, like I want to let them feel the burn, like not like in a
sadistic, crazy.
But just in a like,
let's see where I can push you. Almost.
Yeah, like I want to see where your threshold is, and I want to see what you do under pressure, and I want to see what you do in certain situations. And so
I think that's good though. That's how you get a lot of great work or like that. I think that's great though.
How else do you know you have the best team? Like you have to stress test it.
Yeah,
you can't just take their word for it. You have to say, great, here's a big fucked up problem. Go fix it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a story like that where I was working on set, just like regular PA shenanigans, and I wasn't, like, I came in later in the block, but I knew everyone I was working because I worked with them in the past. But there was like a new PA that was sort of doing what I usually did, which is help out the first AD, which is like making sure everyone's on schedule. And like I was kind of pissed because they were doing two teams, like a A unit and B unit. So they were breaking off, and then like that PA was basically like ADing that one, and like the actual AD was ADing like ADing the main unit. And I was like, damn, like I should have been there, so that could have been like my role, but I was like, I'll hunker down. But then like the last day of the block, or at least no, it was the last day I was on, because I only did like a 3-day week because I had other like shoots lined up before then.
Sure.
But like the AD's like dog passed away or something, and he was just a mess. And he came in the morning, and he was just like, yeah, I didn't think this was going to be this bad. And that's like, if you've been there, like, you know, like, right. Like especially if it's like the day before, you guys like you're a mess. Like, I mean, I've had that I think 3 times in my life now, like when dogs, pets, whatever it is, like that shit sucks, dude. So he had to go away, and then it was like the time for the PA that was like assisting him to step up and do that, and she was just like, oh, I don't know. I was like, talk to her. I was like, no, you're gonna do this. Like, you're gonna kill it. Like, this is like your time to shine. Like, this is where you get to stress test like everything you've been learning from him and whatever. And she did a great job. And it's literally to what you're saying, where it's more inadvertent, where like he didn't necessarily put her in that position. He just like had other shit to deal with. Right. But still, like, she killed it. Like, I mean, I think we cut some shots. We were a little bit late, but it wasn't the end of the world. Like, nothing burned, like no one got killed, no one got hurt. We still made our day. So at the end of the day, she like rose to the occasion, and it was a great success story in my opinion, which is just fucking awesome. But it goes to that saying or what you're saying, where it's like if you push someone, you get to see their threshold.
Totally.
And people probably won't like it, but then they get to realize all the potential that like you're like basically drawing out of them, and you're making people stronger by doing that, instead of just being like go through the motions. If it gets tough, take a break. It's like, no, like let's see where you could go. Like I like being put in that too, because it's like it's the only way you grow, it's the only way you learn. Like
yeah, totally.
Like failure is gonna come, it's inevitable, but
yeah, it's inevitable. Like I think we said on another podcast,
For
like
sure.
Michael Jordan's got the most,
Yeah.
you know, he's got the most like points, like, or he's got the most W's or something, but he's also got the most L's too.
Yeah.
Like people forget that whole side, right? It's
So
like
people forget
he's
that
lost the most.
he was
but he's
injured for
to
a
win the
year.
most.
No one talks about that shit. Like there's
100%.
exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, it's never as bad as you think. It's always way harder than you think, but it's way better than you can ever imagine when you get there. And so it's like, just go, man. It's
Yeah,
all good.
just fucking go.
Just go.
I'm trying to think if I have any more, but most of them are just going to be the same, like reiteration of like shit hitting the fan, because like it happens all the time, like in business, in film, in any art form. Like
Remember that podcast we talked about? You're either coming out
Yeah.
of a challenge, you're in a challenge, you're
getting out of
getting
one,
it. Yeah, you're going into one, you're in one, or you're going out. And you're just somewhere in that cycle, and that cycle can be hourly,
That's what I was
daily,
gonna
weekly,
say, it's-
monthly.
or project to project. You could be on 3 different projects
it's-
where you're in all 3 different of those. Ooh, I have a good one. I have a good question that I can ask you while you look that up.
Let's go.
Do you think like not necessarily being hardened, but like just going through all the gauntlet of putting out fires and problem solving, and like just like the anecdotes you dropped today about getting over not failures, but like stuff that seems inevitable, but you get over it, and pushing people. You think that's made you like a better person, just like outside of business too and stuff?
Yeah,
in that vein?
100%.
And like, have you seen it like a change at all once you started getting into business, and how like that problem solving like made it easier either to communicate to people or like talk to like loved ones about things that you weren't able to talk about, or like just have like a different perspective of that?
Yeah, totally. It's given me more confidence in like so many areas. Like you realize that every time you overcome a challenge, you get a bit of confidence, right?
Oh, for sure.
So every time you cross a hurdle, every time you get that badge on your shoulder or that whatever, you get to take that to the next thing, and
it
so
stays with you within. Yeah,
it stays with you. So confident people are just people that have fucking just been beat down the most, right? Like the quote that I found, I couldn't remember it, but anyway, it's everything is hard before it's easy, like everything, right? So like
it should be too,
and it should be
yeah.
like don't forget, like biology and evolution is like, you know, whether you're like a big, I don't know, I don't want to get into that conversation, but like there's no doubt people, plants and things on earth evolve. Like there's no doubt.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
And so all of that is a product of challenge, right? And so challenge helps us evolve and grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, like, look at the fish down a couple 100 meters below. They got goddamn lights on them. Like, how the fuck did that happen? Evolution, dude.
Man,
because they had to
fucking
overcome.
fish grew legs and walked on land for Christ's sake.
Yeah, okay,
you know?
that's a better point. Man, last podcast you're talking about the Bible. Now we're talking about evolution.
I
Like,
don't
who is
know.
this guy?
What
dude?
is this all?
But yeah, this is a little short 20 piece coming at you just for a nice little Sunday drive. I hope you liked it. Let us know how shit has hit the fan in your life and business or whatever, and how you've overcome it, and anything in that vein. And if you want us to talk about anything else in specifics.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Let us know. Drop us a line, info@creativeisland.online. We love your feedback, and we love some topics. Like, what do you want to hear us pick apart? We're running out of stuff to talk about, guys.
Yeah, what's looming? What do you want to hear? What do you want us to write about for the blog? Give us some nuggets here. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And if you'd like to be notified of more episodes, please be sure to follow the Creative Island podcast now.
Want access to exclusive content, our community newsletter, live events, and so much more? Visit creativeisland.online today to join the Creative Island community.
See you at the top.